RusAme reader, Crow Song, and today I will be reading to you from Handcuffs by Raccoon Mania. Now, on to Chapter 8. When Russia finally went back to his usual state of mind, the first thing he knew was pain. Immense pain from one of the biggest hangovers he had ever had. Well, unless you count the ones he had at the age of 3 and 7, but hush. What the police don't know won't hurt 'em. Anyways, being hungover and the main pain protruding from his head, Russia got up, not noticing the fact that he had been lying on America, with a hangover masking the slight discomfort by the handcuffs. Russia walked out of the room, still completely oblivious to the American he was dragging along. Yet again. The few states that were already awake, or simply refused to sleep, just looked at the strange pair. Once in the kitchen, Russia found some vinegar and coffee. He mixed the two and drank a bit. Within the next few minutes, the Russian was much more clear-minded. With a pang to his supposedly non-existent heart, he remembered the events of yesterday. He also took a quick sniff at the air and remembered he hadn't washed or changed within what he supposed was approximately a week. Oh well. With a glance to the American lying on the ground, he thought for a few seconds. Hose? Sure. Like when I was a kid. His lips turned up just a teensy bit at the thought of his childhood. The good parts, mind you. He chose to ignore the darker part of his childhood memories. America groaned. Russia grabbed what remained of the vinegar coffee drink, pinched America's nose, resulting America to breathe forcefully through his mouth. Russia then shoved some of the drink down America's mouth. America gurgled a bit, spitting out some of the drink, but drinking most of it. Russia watched, not all too intrigued, as America coughed and slowly got over the more intense parts of the hangover. America turned around and tugged on the handcuffs, making Russia, who was not at all prepared for this sort of reaction, trip and fall on the ground, head landing on America's stomach. Soft. Asshole, get off of me! America gurgled, not angry, more confused. Russia only removed himself after 7 minutes, during which the red and white striped country struggled and complained. The only reason Russia had gotten up was because he had heard footsteps. He quickly pulled America to his feet and sat on a chair. New Mexico walked into the room and grabbed some food from the fridge. She glanced over at the two countries, went back in the fridge, and tossed a Corona beer to America. She closed the fridge and walked to a box of donuts stored on the highest shelf. She scrambled up the counter, going to the point of standing on the counter. Russia sat there, staying silent during the entire silent conversation America had with the state. She grabbed a donut, threw it in her mouth, and tossed the box to America. And mysteriously as New Mexico had come, she had left. America smiled immensely, inhaled 3 of the 5 remaining donuts, and offered 2 to Russia. Donut? America offered, mouthful. Russia shook his head. May we go to my house, America? I have work to do. Russia politely asked, even though he was going to go either way. America shrugged and got up. America then climbed up Russia, using only one hand, the one cuffed hanging limb. America, no. America clung to Russia. America, yes. Nobody's forcing you to go to your house, and I don't feel like walking. Russia groaned at the childish response he had received. Fine. Never again, though. Russia spat out. America grinned and snuggled into Russia's neck. The Russian put one arm up and on the American patriot for support, and left the American's house. As the two were walking, Russia was walking, and America continued clinging on like a koala to Russia. They encountered Scotland and Ireland. The two men were holding hands and receiving many stares from the few people outside. But not because of the gay part, simply because of the coronavirus spread. Passerbys thought it was horrible, and because they were holding hands, if one had COVID, the other could have COVID now, and so on. Hey, Russ, I can see the little American bastard clinging to you, Ireland cheerfully exclaimed, not minding if other people heard. Scotland grinned. Yeah, what did you do to him, lad? I've never seen America be so... Scotland thought for a few seconds. Docile. America turned his head to face the two alcoholic countries and stuck out his tongue. Am tired, America mumbled. Russia stopped walking. Suka, you spent the last days doing nothing and sleeping. Suka translates to bitch in Russian. Oh, yeah, meh. America shrugged Russia's comment off. You gonna get laid today, America? Ireland asked, looking from Russia to America. Was that an offer? America responded, his tone sounding rather flirtatious. Russia's eyes widened. He shouted in Russian, quite obviously.
Сука, ты никого не трахаешь, пока мы в наручниках.
The translation for that is, bitch, you are not fucking anybody while we are still handcuffed. That being said, Scotland's first reaction was to pull Ireland close to him and kiss him rather deeply. His second reaction, once the two pulled away, and Scotland gazed lustfully into Ireland's eyes, was to say, the only one getting laid, yeah, lad, love, is me. That earned a chuckle from Ireland, and the two ran off without saying goodbye, Scotland clutching the bag of groceries he had gotten. What just happened? America whispered. Russia, not as shocked, continued walking once the two others had run off to one of their homes for a little fun time session. Right. Russia, finally getting to his home's door, got the keys out of his pocket, slightly tugging on the handcuffs, causing America to cling even tighter with the one free arm he had to not fall off. Suddenly, a rather loud shout caught Russia's attention. America perked his head up, signaling that he, too, had heard the sound. Russia walked over to the source of the noise, which just so happened to be located on the other street, at China's house. Unsurprisingly, China was at his door. North Korea was standing at the gate of China's garden, which led to the place China called home. South Korea, as well, stood there besides his brother.
朝鲜可以来，但是韩国你就待在外面走吧。
That means North Korea can come, but South Korea you will stay outside and leave. South Korea began complaining, making it rather clear that with his argument that the two had been arguing for some time now. North Korea rolled his eye, but put one hand on his brother's shoulder.
한국 부탁드립니다.
That roughly translates to South Korea, please. South Korea appeared suddenly rather torn. After all, North Korea only rarely said please. Finally, South Korea gave in. Fine, but be back before midnight. Please, brother, South Korea said. North Korea shook his head, clearly planning on disobeying his brother's orders or requests. North Korea ceremoniously opened the gate, closed it, and walked over to China and reached his hand out to hold China's hand. And with that, the two walked inside the house. "Oh, hey, Russia! Hello, America!" South Korea happily exclaimed, hiding his nervousness. The only sign of the Korean being nervous was from how much he was biting his lip, and the uncertain look in his eyes. But shush. "Heyo, South! Want to join me and Russia here?" Russia glared at America. Will Japan be there?" America thought for a few seconds. Russia, clearly seeing no way out of South Korea coming with them to his house, decided that the two bored countries were worse than one bored country, and two occupied countries. So, with the plan to invite Japan so she could distract South Korea, and hopefully America as well, while he did his work, he said, "Call her." And the three walked to the Slav's home, South Korea texting Japan. And that's the end of this chapter. I hope you've enjoyed. Also, I'm sorry for the gratuitous use of text-to-speech. I tried several times with every one of those lines. I am so sorry. But anyway, I have to invite y'all to the Discord. It's linked down in the description. That's all I have for today's video, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. But sorry if I don't, because I am having trouble getting recordings up.